Why are there more male criminals as compared to female criminals? It's about 3-1 male criminals versus female criminals. And is there a reason why there are more male criminals than female criminals? So let's ask the question, what causes people to resort to crime in the first place? So there's ASPD, there's pure influence, there's observational learning, operant conditioning. I'll come to all that. Okay, so we'll start off with a biological fact that men has higher testosterone levels, and testosterone causes a person to be more aggressive, causes a person to be more violent, and of course, higher on sex drive. And that doesn't mean that female doesn't have testosterone. It just means that male has higher testosterone, and therefore it leads male to like more male type of activities like military stuff, high-end running sports like racing and boxing and violent video games. That doesn't mean the female doesn't have. It just means that male are more inclined to resort to that. Then there's such a thing called parental influence. So what does a father tell a son? Hey, champ, you can do it. Don't cry, be a man. And what does fathers tell their daughters? Hey, you little princess, here's a Barbie doll. So these are called parental influences. And with that, there's such a thing called natural conditioning. It is called classical conditioning, which means through observation, through this kind of external stimulus, the boys begin to realize that this is how I should behave. And the girls will say, this is how I should behave. Because when a boy cries, they say, hey, don't be a sissy, don't be like a girl. And that's why they have this kind of mental conditioning. Operant conditioning is a method of learning where when you are coaxed by your peers and you do a certain action and then they cheer you on and you get a reward, you're beginning to realize that, this is how I get that adulation or that gratification. And then you begin to indulge in those kind of activities. So if a person joins a gang and the gang root them and cheer them on to do a crime, and when they do the crime, they get rewarded, they begin to condition themselves to act like the rest of the gang. Okay, so what is ASPD? It's antisocial personality disorder. And sometimes when we talk about antisocial behaviors, we thought that people don't socialize. That's not true. Antisocial means that you don't conform with the rest of the society. You're antisocial. You behave in a way that's quite extreme. Violation of social norms. You can be very deceitful, overly irritable, overly aggressive. You disregard for rules, irresponsibility, lack of remorse. All these are the red flags that you can tell a person has ASPD. And high rate of adverse childhood experience like disturbance in the household, abusive parents. These can also cause ASPD. And with all these things combined, that's the reason why you get more male criminals as compared to female criminals. Wait a minute, you're going to say that, hey, Christian, maybe you're getting this wrong because there are female criminals too. Yeah, that's right. And I didn't say there isn't. All we are answering is the question that why are there more male criminals than female criminals? And the reason is because all these factors set up for males to get involved in behaviors that lead to a higher risk in crime. So I've been teaching in the Singapore schools for almost 20 years. And the behaviors in an all-boys school and an all-girls school are totally different. The girls are more well-behaved and more subdued. The male have higher testosterone levels. They're yelling, shouting, they're even challenging you. I'm from Singapore, a country which is high on discipline. By the way, if you're interested to know more about Singapore, this is Singapore. Most of my subscribers are not from my own country, so I'm glad to be able to share with you a little bit about Singapore. So if a female is put into an environment, say like a female prison or a girl's home, and then the behavior is perpetuated. They also go through the same operative behavior, the classical conditioning, and they can end up with as a criminals too. Okay, so but if you want to explain why there are more male criminals, that I believe we've explained it. I'll take this opportunity to say that I'm not against gender equality. As a behavior expert, I would like to say that men are built slightly different from female. Yeah, of course, if you take the clothes off, you can tell the difference immediately. More importantly is what we don't say, like one species is stronger than the other. That would be not right. But surely, I think old-fashioned male chivalry towards the female is welcome. Males serve the military to protect the country. That's okay too. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's information. And if you like my channel, please subscribe.